Item A is approval of the regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025. Item B is acknowledgement of August bills, and item C is acceptance of August expense and income reports. Any discussion, or I'd entertain a motion?
I will entertain a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for August. Was that the right thing? I'm sorry.
Do you want to approve the consent agenda as written?
That was what I was thinking.
All right, thank you.
I'll second.
Perfect, thank you. And we're going to shift over to a vote by roll. So I will throw it over to Amy for a roll vote.
Okay. Albert,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Jugnut,
Yes.
Mullen,
Yes.
and Smith.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, next we'll move on to our public comment section. So it looks like we have a member of the public. Would you like to share?
Good afternoon.
Push the
Thanks
button
for-
so it's green.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight.
Okay.
So it looks like you're green and live and ready to go.
Yes,
Do you
thank you.
mind, giving us your name and the business that you represent, or if you live downtown?
My name is Alexander Peacock. I'm a resident here in Petoskey. I just moved about 2 years ago. My wife and I are co-owners of Peacock Culinary Experiences. We have a food truck, and we're also opening a business downtown Petoskey,
Awesome.
a brick and mortar restaurant.
Glad
so-
you're in town. Yeah.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to introduce myself and say, thank you for welcoming us to Petoskey. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. We've only lived in big cities our whole life, so we moved from Honolulu to Miami to here to Petoskey. And Petoskey is truly something special. It's small town feel. It's beautiful. It's got the seasons. It's got everything, but we're grateful to be here. With that being said, I came here because I wanted to propose something with parking downtown. I originally wanted to propose a 10 to 15 minute time zone, or like a little parking spot in front of our restaurant. But after thinking about it, I realized that many people are requesting this, and this isn't the most important thing that we actually need to benefit us. The most important thing we need is a handicap parking spot. So we're on Petoskey Street, and the winter's coming. Most of our clientele, our guests, have health issues. So a lot of them are obesity, diabetes. A lot of them, people just came from surgery, from McLaren, just trying to get healthier, just trying to get more health conscious foods. And our business is 100% gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, no fryer, no fried foods. I'm trying to provide a healthy lifestyle for people. So a handicap spot would greatly benefit us. It doesn't need to be in front of our store, just somewhere around the Petoskey Street area. There's nothing close right now for people that are in wheelchairs or people that can't walk. And it's going to be extremely hard in the winter. Not to mention just the summer, some people have trouble walking. It's easy right now because we're in a food truck, so people can just literally pull up on the door and we can run out and give them the food. But being in a brick and mortar, it's a little bit more challenging. And our main goal is for everyone to have access to healthier options in the community. So this handicap would not benefit, it's not looking towards me, but it's looking towards people in the community. We're going to have tokens so people can park for 10 minutes. But I think the most important thing is for the handicap, so people don't have to keep circling. And I think if they park 4 blocks, they're less likely to wheel all the way to our spot. Just somewhere to reserve people with disabilities. And I think it would improve the traffic flow, safety, and I think it's just practical. It just shows a concern for health and people that want to better their lives. McDonald's, Arby's, Burger King, they all have plenty of handicap parking, but I don't think that really benefits anybody in the fast food. But that's kind of just what I wanted to propose. So originally I wanted to propose a 10 to 15-minute loading zone, but thinking about it, it's actually a handicap zone, handicap parking I want to propose.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome.
Again, it doesn't need to be and it doesn't need to be in front of our restaurant. It could be anywhere in the area, but anywhere in the area would benefit everybody in that area, not just us. And that's ultimately what our business wants to do, is to benefit everyone around us. So
Cool. Great. Yeah. Thank you for sharing with us.
you're welcome.
So the Downtown Management Board is our, so that's where we are tonight.
Mhm.
So our board has a couple different committees, and one of them is the parking committee. And so what we can do is ask the parking committee to review what elements of parking that we have throughout the downtown. That's what their function is typically. And periodically, we do review different elements like handicap locations and different things like that for on-street and off-street parking. So we can certainly have the committee review that request, and we can either have staff get back to you or kind of go from there.
So that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Perfect. And I also just want to say thank you. We're glad that you're a part of our downtown. And thank you for coming tonight to let us know the concerns that you have for your new location. So we're
Thank you
excited.
very
to
much.
go.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful here. It's we didn't expect to be so busy, but it's very nice, and the community is so welcoming. Being in a big city, you kind of lose that. Being in a big city, you lose that camaraderie, and you lose that team. You lose people are always in a hurry, always in traffic, and I know people say there's traffic here during the summer, but this is not traffic. Miami is traffic. Honolulu is traffic, and yeah, it's just nice being here. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank you.
tonight. Yeah. All right. Is there any other public comment online?
Online. No one.
I don't think so. Perfect. All right, so moving along into the new business category. We'll start with item A, discussion and possible action on the 2026 programs and services budget. So we'll move one by one probably through these tonight. Do we have any discussion, question for staff, anything on the programs and services budget specifically?
Okay.
Or we'll move on to the presentation from staff.
Nope, happy to start with questions if there's any before I give an overview.
Sorry,
That's okay.
all right, I guess we'll roll into it. Yeah,
All right.
thanks, Amy.
I'll just give a brief overview. So tonight you're reviewing the two budgets that are overseen by the Downtown Management Board, which are parking and programs and services. The parking fund revenues are 100% user fees by those who park downtown. And programs and services budget are the special assessments on commercial property that's been in place since 1994. And then also any program revenue such as sponsorships or advertisements. That's your programs and services budget. Both budgets start at the management board and are recommended then to city council, who is ultimate approval. The purpose of programs and services is marketing, promotion, events, business retention, and recruitment activities. We also had beautification in that category in this budget, but as we discussed last time, and we'll talk a little more, we are proposing to move that out of programs and services and into parking. The programs and services budget for 2026 is proposed at $214,721. That includes a 2.6% increase in the 2024 special assessment levy that will bring in an additional $3,175, and use of the Programs and Services Fund balance or carryover of $35,945. At the end of 2025 or this fiscal year, it's projected that the fund balance will be $189,000. Oh, I'll go back one. And just a breakdown of the revenue sources, 58% come from the current year special assessment, 17% is coming from fund balance, 23% from program revenue, again, sponsorships, shopping map ads, anything other than the assessment, and then penalties and interest on our accounts, and then if someone doesn't pay their assessment right away, then they get penalties put on. At the last meeting, there was a question about the historic fund balance. There was a discussion of how much do we want to dip into the fund balance? What has it been historically? So this is a 10-year overview. Looking back at 2015, it was just over 150,000. It dropped down in 2018. And then as you'll see, 2020, it started rising again. Last year, we took a significant amount out of the fund balance rather than doing a transfer from the parking fund. And then this year, it's proposed at the end of 2026 to be at that about $150,000 mark. Just comparing the current year to the proposed, again, the budget is about $60,000 less, 2026 and 2025. So these don't mean exactly the same things, but the direction has been we needed to move more in the direction of funding programs and services with the assessment. So you can see for this year, special assessment will be covering 58% of the budget versus 45% in the current year. Program revenue is also increasing to 23%, and the fund balance proportion is actually decreasing almost 20%. And then penalties and interest are the minimal, about 2%. On the expenditure side, again, this is showing the difference in total budget. So these proportions, what the 2025 graph shows you is that 5% that the 8% that was beautification does not show up in the 2026 budget. So that's somewhat why the numbers shift, because it's a proportion, and the proportions are of a smaller number as well. But again, administration includes both staff benefits and office and overhead. So anything administrative that is needed to operate programs and services is administration. And then events, as a proportion of the budget, events are increasing by 6%, and marketing and promotions are also increasing. Again, because we have an expenditure that is not in this budget. The changes for 2026 from the current year on the revenue side is an assessment increase of 2.6%, and also an increase in program revenue and special assessment share of revenues, and decrease in the use of fund balance. On the expenditure side, we are not, you don't see the beautification. So that was in the current year budget, it's 27,000. In next year's budget, it's 30,000. That's being moved to the parking fund. We also had modest decreases in expenditures for sidewalk sales, Winter Wonderland weekend, and men's night, and decrease in economic enhancement expenditures. again, to try to bring this budget in line with what the special assessment can support. The levy rate with the 2.6% increase, the table on the right is the current levy. The levy proposed at 2.6 is 22.19 cents per square foot of ground floor commercial or first floor commercial, 5.58 cents per square foot on non-first floor, and vacant land is 6.66 per square foot. If you had a 1,500 square foot ground floor commercial space, the increase of 2.6% would be an increase of $8.04. And if you had a two-story building with 5,000 square feet, basement, first floor, second floor, so a total of 15,000 square feet of commercial space, the increase of 2.6% would be $42. The discussion, again, of how we can't continue to take fund balance. And so what would it take if this budget, and again, it's a little hard to say because this budget assumes certain things and staff time that wouldn't have to happen if we weren't using program revenue. So for example, the amount of time trying to get ads for the shopping map or going for sponsors. So, but if you just took what our budget is, the $217,000, and you said the levy on commercial needs to cover all of that. The first floor rate would be 31 cents per square foot. Non-first floor would be 8 cents per square foot. And vacant land seems like it's the same. No, it's 6.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right, but the only vacant land we assess actually is the whole and one lot. But using the same calculation of a 1,500 square foot ground floor commercial space, their current assessment is $324.45, and that would go to $465.46 for an additional $141. And again, that 15,000 square foot, two-story with a basement would increase by $698. So it could go anywhere between 100% and where we are currently, but this is, if you were to say, we don't want to use program revenue, we want to just have the assessment cover everything, that's what the rate would need to be. So just food for thought. The levy has a state required process that requires a series of hearings in city council. If after review and discussion, the board would like to move this budget forward, a motion to approve or amend the budget should be made first. And then a motion to request that the city manager make a recommendation to city council that the levy be assessed at the percent increase determined by the board, which is in the proposed budget at 2.6%. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Which the chair incorrectly solicited earlier in the meeting too.
Sorry, microphone?
Oh, sorry, I'm sitting too far back, which the chair inadvertently solicited for at the wrong time in the meeting, but here we go.
It's okay.
Thank you, Amy, for
You're
that
welcome.
very detailed presentation. I think that breaks everything down from our last meeting very, very well. So thank you for the time that I'm sure it took to put that together. Any additional thoughts?
Is there currently a stopgap on the fund balance where if it gets below a certain amount, we don't take anything out?
There is not currently, and that's what I think it would be helpful for future budget cycles if the board had a policy or there was some discussion of, we like having the savings account. We don't have anything planned at this point, but there could be some big expenditure, could be, we want to bring in some national act to play in Pennsylvania Park. But it would be helpful to have some direction moving forward of don't ever go, well, future boards can change it, but have this board come up with what guideline do you want to give staff?
Okay. And if we're looking at helping with some of the vacancies in downtown, is there a possibility of doing a 1% increase if your property is vacant for 12 months?
You can't, because it's what it is, it's a special assessment. And it's, what it's called is a principal shopping district assessment. So it's assessment for services. So you can't, you can't say a vacant storefront needs to pay more than an occupied storefront to have an event. So you can't have a higher rate for vacant storefronts. The question comes up pretty much every year, and it would be great if there were a tool we could use, but the special assessment's not one that we can use.
But it seems like we could, because if we have several vacant buildings, they're reducing the amount of people that are coming downtown. So they're being assessed because of that.
Right, but we've asked legal counsel and they said you can't. There may be another mechanism, but the special assessment is not the mechanism we can use.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Good questions. Thanks, Stephen. Any other questions from the board? Great. Well, it looks like being that there's no further discussion, I think the next step is to either move forward with the budget as proposed. I believe those are the two next steps right there, or so do we have any that are opposed to moving forward, moving a motion forward? I think we should open the floor to that first. And then if not, then we should consider if anyone would like to make a motion for the first portion of this budget.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Amy, if we were to, in your one slide, if we were to bring the assessment up to where it would fund the programs fully,
Mhm.
would that include beautification in that budget?
No, it would be just what is in the current budget.
So that beautification is being moved permanently or until
Until the board wants to move it
back?
back to programs and services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Or alternatively, if you don't want to move it, it stays in this budget and we just take more from fund balance.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Interesting. Okay. Well, would anyone like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed budget.
All right, any further discussion?
Give us a second.
Did we do, oh, yeah,
I'll second.
thanks, Gary. And thanks, Chris. Any further discussion? I'm just all over the board today. All right, then we will move to a roll vote once again. Amy?
Jaconet,
Approve. Yes.
Albert,
Approve.
Bennett,
Yes.
Mullen,
Approve.
Smith.
Yes. Motion carries. So on to the second portion of that request. So we would, do we have to do the two motions though?
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got one thing right tonight, Amy. So I'll entertain a second motion. If someone would like to make that for the amount that we propose to increase the levy this year.
I'll move that we request that the city manager make a recommendation to the city council that the levy be assessed at the percent increase determined by the board, which proposed is at 2.6%.
I'll second that.
Great, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Stephen. And we will move to a roll vote as well.
Albert,
Yes.
Mullen,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes,
Yes.
Bennett, Chuckanut.
Yes.
motion carries. Thank you. So we are moving past the programs and services budget and right on into our parking fund budget for 2026.
Okay,
Amy, take it away.
I will. 2026 parking fund budget is proposed to be 1.195 million. 64% of that is operating and 36% is capital expenditures. And it is 3.2% less than the 2025 budget. The 2025 year-end revenues are projected to be 155,500 or 17% less than budgeted, while operating expenditures are projected to be 638,200 or 156,300 less than budgeted, and that is 12.7%. Both the reduction in revenues and the reduction in expenditures is primarily due to staffing levels. And then also the big category that did not get expended was the placemaking projects. The revenues are projected for next year to be 868, and this is based on August 31st numbers. Projected to be 868,500, which is 41,200 less than budgeted for 2025. And the top three revenue categories are street meters, park mobile, which is available in streets or lots, fines, and special permits. The largest expenditure categories are capital outlay at 37%, wages and benefits at 34%, and professional contracted services at 12%. The capital outlay projects are reconstruction of the park garden lot and bike infrastructure for $430,000. Again, the funding for beautification, which are the wreaths, the garland, the lights, the flowers at the base of trees that start in the spring, and the fall decorations, which were just installed, is proposed to be moved from programs and services to the placemaking beautification expenditure at $30,000. And other items in that line item, which the total for that would be $70,000 or 3% of the budget, would be a new round of facade grants at $30,000. And also a carryover of a facade grant that was awarded for the 316, 318 East Lake project, because that was part of them being able to get a state grant for that project. So the board decided to keep that carried over until that project happens. The budget includes trolley operations at similar level as the current year, with I don't know what cost to include, cost to include new tires and the potential for an additional CDA license for drivers. This is your first review of this budget. So you don't have to take action tonight. If you're ready to take action, more power to you. But I'm happy to answer questions or bring back more information for the October meeting, which is just in 3 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Any board discussion, questions for Amy or?
Does the proposed increase in the Petrie and Park Garden lots from 25 cents an hour to 50 cents an hour, does that have to go before the city?
Is that
Does that
what?
have to go before the city for a vote? City council?
Well, if you approve it, it goes into the budget process
Gotcha.
as the fee and fine schedule.
And am I reading this correctly, that that increase would be to encourage the employees to purchase
Permits.
permits? Okay.
I have a question about on the budget, the comparison budget, the bank charges. I mean, there are so many estimated year-end numbers that are lower, and then that one is so much higher.
Yeah, what happened, when we had some staff changes is what was being reported to finance was just, so the credit card charges, or those charges included Park Mobile. So Park Mobile, when they submit a statement, they've got your gross revenue and your net revenue. And what was being reported to finance was just the net revenue. So then when the staff changed and they were getting additional information, they saw that those charges weren't being accounted for. So our revenues are going up partly because they're showing gross numbers versus net numbers. But then our expenses are going up as well. And likely, and it's probably why it's wise to postpone action on this, because we could have a whole nother month of, particularly on the revenue side, to see what's going on with our revenues. But also anything that, because finance has the best handle on what's going on with the fees and fines. But that's the big change, is our revenue was only showing net revenue, not gross revenue. And then the bank charges weren't being accounted for because they were just counting the net, so. But bank charges are very high, and it's not, it's that, it's also all of, it's when we accept credit cards in the pay stations, it's when we accept credit cards at the office. So Audrey, the finance director, did say it's probably time for all of our cards to start going around and seeing if we can get better rates on all of them.
And, excuse me, we probably have a lot more credit card payments, thus having those fees, right? So it made it go higher, okay, rather than cash.
And do we know what we're being charged for each credit card swipe?
No. There is a flat fee for Park Mobile per use,
Which is,
Oh,
the
35 cents.
cents.
wow, it's actually high.
That's, well, so that is a flat transaction fee.
For Park Mobile,
Park
not the
Mobile.
credit card.
Credit card is, sorry, the credit card is a mix, like American Express has a higher
Mhm.
usage fee than MasterCard, Discover, Visa. All those have different levels, which you all know that. But the visibility is within the finance team.
but the 35-cent fee is paid by the person parking their car,
Correct.
right? Not us, or not the
Correct.
city. Okay.
But that is being reduced, so we have the gross number, like Amy was talking about, that we show, but it's still being reduced to the net number.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. That was just the only really big difference, or like even the wages went down.
Yep.
So that was.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments for the first go of the budget? Also, since it looks like we've got a couple board members that are unable to attend our abbreviated meeting, I think I tend to agree with staff and think maybe a first reading and then a second reading and action would make sense in October. Unless anybody would prefer to move in a different direction.
I agree.
Perfect. All right, so we will consider this our first reading of the parking budget. Amy, once again, thank you for all of that detail and for breaking it down. I'm sure that took a little bit of time to do, so we really appreciate all the time that went into that. So any additional questions or comments can certainly be taken to Amy and the staff as well. And then we will review this again at our next meeting. Perfect. All right, so I think we'll move along to item C in new business of discussion of lease terms for the 216 Park Avenue office space.
Okay. Again, we've been lease to lease or month to month lease since 2024. And the landlord has provided us with a proposed lease that, and our current lease monthly is $960.98. As proposed, the rent in January would be $987 a month, plus utilities, so that comes out to be $20.71 cents per square foot. And then the next, following 2 years, it would increase by consumer price index on the first day of January, if that's the start of our lease. So this is the parking office on Park Avenue. We have been there since 2016. I can't remember, but we've been there a long time. April's got a great relationship with the landlord. It is a fairly accessible site. I mean, it's not, you can't pull up in front of it and run in and pay, but people know where it is, and It's also adjacent to the garage that the city owns. That's where we keep the wagon and meter parts and miscellaneous things. We store, the movie projector and the screen and all of the shopping maps. So that is a proposal. Again, it's a 3-year lease. And so before having the attorney review it, I just wanted to bring it to the full board and see if this is something you want us to proceed with.
Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Any thoughts on continuing this beautiful space in downtown Petoskey?
May I ask who the landlord is? May I ask who the landlord is?
Bill Thompson?
So it's been a great space for many, many years. Is it something that we feel like we should continue on with?
I think we should continue on, let people know where it is. It takes time to establish that. I mean, there's people that still walk in my store and say, do you carry this? And I have a display that, could hit them in the face when they walk in the door. So I think that's a very important, thing that's got that, the years behind it of being there. And like you said, it's accessible to people and I mean, where else would we go? To make it downtown parking, you have to be in your downtown. I think it's a perfect space. And I think the pricing, on that backside is good.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin. Any additional comments?
Well, and I would just say, as you're aware, in the strategic plan, it talks about pursuing the chamber space. But I don't think there's not been serious discussion of that yet. And I think if that were to move forward, it would take probably multiple years to get it in place. So I don't, we could go back and say we want a 1-year lease with your options, but then we don't know what the option will be at the end of, so it's just, I guess I don't see a downside of a 3-year lease on this space.
I agree. 3 years goes like that.
Mhm.
Yes, we all know. Then you won't have to deal with it for another 3 years.
I think it also is worth mentioning, I think you already mentioned it as well, Amy, but it's kind of a great balance between being near and in the downtown, but also not taking up a primary storefront, I guess if I could put it that way. Every spot in downtown has its strengths and its drawbacks. Some store owners really enjoy being on that parkway space. But I think that the location is a great compromise to allow people to be able to know where to pay for parking. They can also purchase tokens. They can also purchase their parking permits that we're trying to promote. And they can also purchase downtown dollars, which I know fondly. So I think that's a good location overall. So do we have anybody that has other thoughts? No? All right, then I think it would be best should we have a motion for this to pursue it, or should we just?
So it just,
consider it?
I mean, I guess, yeah, let's do a motion. Why not? just to proceed with legal review.
Okay, so to proceed with legal
I
review.
make a motion to proceed with, the legal review of the, 3-year lease for the, parking office.
I'll second.
Perfect. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Gary. We'll move to a roll vote once again. Ms. Tweeden?
Bennett,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Jaconet, Mullen.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Now to item D, report by Downtown Management Board committees and staff.
Let's start with marketing and promotions.
Okay. All right, we just wrapped up Downtown Day, and we also had Witches Night Out, which is hosted by Grandpa Shorters. It was fabulous. Everyone had a great time. We got a lot of hits on social media, and the event's already posted for next year. People are already looking forward to next year's Witches Night Out. And then Downtown Day, we had over 450 entries in our Downtown Day drawing, so really good for being an unpaid marketing event. And then we also had over 50 entries for our scavenger hunt. Both winners have been notified today, and so we'll announce it tomorrow on Facebook and our other socials. Other than that, our next focus is trick or treating, which is October 25th. We're going to be starting with promoting that on our socials and just encouraging people to RSVP to the event on Facebook. And then we have Ladies Night Out. So our marketing committee will be meeting October 8th to start planning that process and what the details are for that. So it should be similar to last year, but just getting all the details ironed out because next thing you know, it's going to be November. I think that is it for me, unless anyone has any questions. Okay.
On to parking, maybe?
All right. So we wrapped up the trolley season. We did start a little bit later this year, as a reminder, due to the Park Avenue project and the Lake Street closures. And we operated 4 days a week. So we had 49 operating days and had 2,743 riders. What the committee had requested is, and I think the mayor had requested, a cost per rider overview. So last year it was $6.11 per rider. This year was $10.02 per rider. But that included the roof project. We had to do the repairs. So without that, it would actually be $3.84 per rider. So, overall, it's fantastic. Everyone loves it, of course. So what the parking committee had recommended is we keep a similar schedule next season, the 4 days a week, like 4-hour loops, and then kind of keep it and see where it goes. Okay. The next big thing was, we did meet, Amy and I went down to Traverse City and met with the parking team and Park Mobile. And it was awesome to see someone else that operates for a long time, been in the business. And that they have 3 full-time enforcement people and 3 full-time maintenance. And we have essentially 1 person on the street and a part-time maintenance guy coming in the mornings. So I think that we've done a pretty good job keeping things running on a small staff and also the community development. So as you saw with a lot of the budget, our fines are decreasing, but it's also the use of permits and the education and the community driven. So it's nice to see a good balance from our perspective. So. Any other questions?
Did they share detail, like budget detail with you? Or were you able to compare that or not?
Yeah, the system we use is very old, very small. We pay approximately $3,000 annually. What they have, a fully integrated system that their enforcement, they also have a car that will read license plates. And it's integrated with their enforcement tool, plus all the pay stations, everything, the meters with one company, and it's about $40,000 annually. So there's, plus
Hard to
they.
compare, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they operate 7 days a week. They have the garages that are staffed. They're moving to an automated thing where you can, scan your permit to go through and talk. So, it was good. I mean, and that's the thing, we're much smaller, but there's, a lot of good synergies that we could have.
Awesome. Thank you. It's always good to know what our neighbors are doing.
Yes.
Excellent. On to the Downtown Design Committee.
So we met early September and just saw the last version kind of, for the master plan, what are different options. So that master plan open house is next Wednesday from 4 to 7. It will be in the community room. So I recommend, if you can attend, to attend and provide your comments. And then also the design committee had asked the they asked the DMB for input on halo lit signs and whether all illuminated signs should be turned off at night or after hours. And they didn't feel they had enough graphic information to weigh in on the halo lights. So we're scheduled to meet tomorrow, but we're gonna meet in November instead, just because we've got the open house coming up. And it just snuck right up on me. And they are the ones that asked that we put the facade grant program back in the budget. And we're still, waiting on updates for the gazebo project and, location of possible drinking fountains or bottle filling stations. So that was the design committee, and then the organizational task force met twice, again, just going mainly over budget items. So that's committee.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Last item is report by city staff. Is there anything additional you'd like to comment on, Amy, in the city staff portion?
I just wanted to, I think in the parking notes, you'll see that we were meeting with the city attorney last week, but we had that date wrong. It's actually in October.
Next week.
So we're going to talk with the new attorney about some ordinance changes regarding towing and or, just because that was the thing that one of the big takeaways from Traverse City is they do not have these people that are, what do you call them? Scofflaws. Because after 6 tickets, they will put the boot on you. And you have to pay to get the boot off. You have to pay all your fines. So there's actual penalty for not paying for parking. Whereas we send out notices, we try getting you to collections, we try payment plans, we try all these things. We do know the one time we did tow 2 vehicles, it kind of woke people up that, oh, this actually is something I'm supposed to take care of. So we just want, it's not that that's what we want to do regularly, but we just want to make sure that the ordinance supports if we need to do that. And there are changes that are needed. So they've worked with quite a few communities that have ordinances that address this. So hopefully that will be a pretty simple fix.
Perfect. Cool. And I guess it's worth noting that there's a training through the Michigan Municipal League. So if anybody wants to join me going to that, it's on October 27th. Perfect. Is there, I guess that covers our agenda for this evening, so I think we can call this Downtown Management Board adjourned.